E.N.D here, not less than 12 hours from the unban of Stoneforge Mystic, we have an immediately and sudden spike in price of the card. If you didn't know what happened in the E.N.D announcement, I also did a video covering what happened. Stoneforge Mystic is unbanned and Hogak and Fateless Looting unbanned. Hogak was not a surprise. Fateless Looting, it was a little bit of surprise to be banned with Hogak. But they gave us back Stoneforge Mystic, and as I said, this card immediately, as you can see, skyrocketed to $76.50. $76.50. You can see here the spike in price, immediate spike in price, and to my opinion, this is not a surprise. Whenever you have a card like Stoneforge Mystic that was banned for quite long of time, that the price of this card remains stable for around $34–$35. With the unban, it means that a lot of players want this card, a lot of players demand this card. Supply of this card is very low. Supply of this card, we have only the Worldwake version, which was printed in rare. That means that it makes it much more available than a mythic. Worldwake is the same set of Jace the Mind Scalper. Jason the Mind Scalper had the same lifetime. It was banned, it was sitting around $50–$60, with the unbanned skyrocketed to $120, which is a very high price, twice as much the price thing. This card is a rare. It had a price of around $34–$35. Now it's around $76–$50. That means it's the same, it's twice as much. As I was saying, there are two versions of this card, one Worldwake and the other, it's a promo, a Grand Prix promo. This particular card, you know, it's a very limited print run. There are not a lot of these cards in circulation, therefore I don't think that it will make an impact on the price. If the supply of a particular card is very low and the demand is very high, obviously the price will be extremely high. There's another point of also a lot of players, modern players now, without Hogak, without Fateless Looting, without the Phoenix deck, they're trying to brew new decks around Stoneforge Mystic, so you can imagine how much demand there is for this card. Even in Europe we are seeing a spike in price of the card. Unfortunately, this graph takes in consideration even non-English cards. The Goldfish graph takes in consideration only English graph. In Europe we're seeing a spike in price, immediately spike in price, from an average of €20 to €34. As I said, this takes in consideration non-English, so it's not a very big surprise that this price spiked high again. In Europe, Stoneforge Mystic English is being sold in mint condition for more than €50–60, which is a very high price and very similar price to the $76–$50. Something else happened about Stoneforge Mystic. Obviously, when the card was unbanned, immediately on the news, if you could make it, if you were lucky, you could go immediately on eBay, on TCG Players, and try to grab one of these cards, as you can see here, for a price of around $34. If you were lucky enough to grab one of these cards at that price, at the immediately news, and if you're lucky enough that the card is not cancelled, hopefully the seller does not cancel the card, even though I can understand that someone, a seller, will cancel this card, because nowadays he can or she can sell it for twice as much that price. If you are lucky enough, you made a bargain, and I'm sure there are collectors, there are investors that on the news of the unban of Stoneforge Mystic went on these sites, TCG Player, Card Kingdom, eBay, and tried to buy as much as possible Stoneforge Mystics for a low price of $35 to $40. This is the story of Stoneforge Mystic. I'm sure this card will see much more higher price in the future, unless there is a reprint. Yes, as I said, there are only 2 prints of Stoneforge Mystics, and it wouldn't be surprised that we'll see a reprint of this card. What does a reprint mean for this card? Obviously the price will stabilize at a lower price, but the problem is where this card is going to be reprinted. I'm not seeing this card being reprinted in standard. Standard will be broken with a card like Stoneforge Mystic. Even Throne of Eldraine, I don't think Throne of Eldraine will have flavor or the story theme. I don't think Stoneforge Mystic will fit in that story. So a reprint in Throne of Eldraine is very improbable. The only thing that would fit this card is a Masters set. We know that I'm sure next year we'll have Modern Masters, Modern Horizons 2. Modern Horizon was quite a successful set, even though Hawkeye now is banned, it's a very successful set. The price of that set remains quite high, and it wouldn't be a surprise if Stoneforge Mystics will be reprinted in a Modern Horizon set, that is Modern Horizons 2. Till now, from Modern Horizons, we didn't have any modern cards that were reprinted, but it wouldn't be a surprise that the next set will have reprints of current modern cards like Stoneforge Mystics or also the Fetchlands. The other product in Magic the Gathering that could see a reprint of Stoneforge Mystic is maybe there can be, especially in the Christmas period in December, a new set, a surprise set, an Ultimate Masters 2. Last year we had Ultimate Masters, a successful set. Trying to find, you'll not find an Ultimate Masters sealed product for less than $350. Ultimate Masters was a successful set, and it wouldn't be a surprise if Wizards of the Coast issue a new Ultimate Masters called Ultimate Masters 2, and Stoneforge Mystics, Fetchlands, Jace the Mind Sculptor. These cards will be reprinted in that set. Can leave me a comment below. What do you think about reprinting Stoneforge Mystics, future reprints of Stoneforge Mystic? And here at the subscription button, subscribe for my channel for more interesting news about Magic the Gathering and the collectible web.